there, graders. Welcome back to Poetry with Miss Nazaripour. I hope you are having a wonderful day and that you're really enjoying writing poetry with me. So I wanted to just remind you about the Notes on Poetry chart that we've started this week and all of the things that we've already learned about poetry. We've learned everyone can write it, and you've proven it to me with all the great poems you're sending me. We've learned that the poems always make the reader feel something. That's the #1 rule in poetry. Your audience has to feel something, whether it's love or humor or joy or excitedness. They have to have an emotional reaction. Sometimes rhymes, sometimes doesn't. Don't get hung up on trying to rhyme words. And what we learned yesterday is that they use sensory words and phrases, words that help you use your 5 senses to make a picture or a visualization. Just like we read in fiction writing, poetry writers also have to use sensory words. Remember, a lot of feelings happen in poetry with a little bit of space, so you're going to need to use really strong words when you're writing your poems. Today I have 2 new poems for you. So let's get started reading them. Hey there, graders. Here's the first poem we're going to read today. It's called Sunning by James S. Tibbet. Sunning is something that you might be doing today or tomorrow as the sun gets high in the sky and very warm. Sunning is laying out in the sun and taking a sun bath. So let's go ahead and read the poem together. Actually, I'm going to read the poem. What I want you to do is close your eyes as I read and visualize or make a picture. Think about all of the sensory words that you meet that help you to make a picture in your head. Let's see what the author did to help you do that. Ready? Close your eyes. Old dog lay in the summer sun, much too lazy to rise and run. He flapped an ear at a buzzing fly. He winked a half-opened, sleepy eye. He scratched himself on an itchy spot as he dozed on the porch where the sun was hot. He whimpered a bit from force of habit while he lazily dreamed of chasing a rabbit. But old dog happily lay in the sun, much too lazy to rise and run. All right, I'm going to read through it again. You keep your eyes closed and make that picture so you can describe it to me or a person sitting next to you. Old dog lay in the summer sun, much too lazy to rise and run. He flapped an ear at a buzzing fly. He winked a half-open sleepy eye. He scratched himself on an itching spot as he dozed on the porch where the sun was hot. He whimpered a bit from force of habit while he lazily dreamed of chasing a rabbit. But old dog happily lay in the sun, much too lazy to rise and run. Third graders, go ahead and pause the video and explain your visualization either to me, like you're talking to me, or to anybody who's sitting next to you. What did you see when you were making this picture in your head? What I saw was a old hound dog. I don't know why he was a hound dog, but in my visualization, he definitely was. And he was laying on an old porch in the hot summer sun. So in the poem, there are lots of words that helped me make that picture. For instance, the author didn't just say sun, it said summer sun. I know from experience, from my schema, that the summer sun is usually hot. I know the old dog, he was an old dog because it says old dog. Not just dog, but an old dog and a lazy dog. So all of those words help me to see this dog. He flapped an ear at a buzzing fly. So he flapped. That movement that he did, that verb, helped me see his big floppy ears and the annoying buzzing fly. He winked half-opened, sleepy eye. So he winked an eye that was half open and sleepy. He scratched himself on an itching spot as he dozed on the porch where the sun was hot. He whimpered. It helped me hear. He whimpered a bit from force of habit while he lazily dreamed of chasing a rabbit. He didn't just dream, he lazily dreamed. But old dog, again, old dog helps me see him, happily lay in the sun, So he didn't just lay, he happily laid. Didn't that dog look happy? Yeah. Much too lazy to rise and run. So I've got a very good picture of this dog in my head. He's old, he's lazy, and it's a hot summer day, and he's a very happy sleeping on the porch. I wonder if your visualization was a lot like mine. Last question about this poem. What did it make you feel? Go ahead and say it out loud like you were talking to me. And tell me why, too. Well, what this poem made me feel is happy. I definitely felt very happy thinking about this old lazy dog having the time of his life, having a nice little snooze in the sun. It also really made me yearn or want summer. When a person yearns for something, they really long for it or really want it to happen. And I really want summer to happen so we can all lay in the sun. The next poem we're going to read about today is The Pollywogs. And as we read this poem, we are reading about an animal. Anybody know what a pollywog is? Go ahead and shout it out if you know. Did you say a tadpole? You're right. A pollywog is a tadpole. I learned that today. This poem, The Pollywogs, was written by Douglas Florian. Go ahead and take a look at the words. When I first saw this poem, I didn't know what I was looking at. The words are written so strangely, but I did make sense of it, and I'm going to read it for you today. And what I want you to do right now is to close your eyes as I read and make a picture in your head. Ready? Here we go. We pollywoggle, we pollywiggle. We shake in lakes, make wakes, and wriggle. We quiver, we shiver, we jiggle, we jog. We're yearning to turn ourselves into a frog. That was fun, wasn't it? I'll read it again. Keep making that picture. Make sure you're able to explain your picture to me or a friend sitting next to you. We pollywoggle, we pollywiggle. We shake in lakes, make wakes, and wriggle. We quiver, we shiver, we jiggle, we jog. We're yearning to turn ourselves into a frog. All right, third graders, go ahead. Tell me what you noticed. What picture you made. So my visualization was a pond that was teeming or had a lot of pollywogs or tadpoles in it, and they were all moving about, shaking and quivering, and they all really wanted to grow up and be frogs. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this poem by Douglas Florian and this one by James S. Tibbet. Thanks for joining me to read these two poems. Third graders, here's what you need to do now. Do you remember yesterday when we wrote the quick write about the 10 different kinds of foods we might write a poem about? Today we're going to do another quick write. So what you're going to need to do is find where you wrote that quick write yesterday. Hopefully it was in your journal and all you have to do is turn back a page or two. If not, and you need more time, that's okay. Pause the video and go find it. If for whatever reason you didn't happen to do that lesson, I'd recommend you go back and do it. But you can just move forward from today also. So if you did write the quick write from yesterday, skip a line and write today's date, which is 5-28-20. Then write the word animals. And under that, write 10 different animals that you might write a poem about. So we read two poems today, one about a dog and the other one about a pollywog or a tadpole. So if you want to use those two, you only have to come up with 8 new ones. But write a list of 10 animals, whichever animals you want, maybe a giraffe, Oliver, maybe a camel, maybe, I don't know, whatever animal you like. And then after you've done that, after you've done your quick write, you should have 20 different things you could write a poem about. 10 different foods and 10 different animals. And now it's your turn to continue writing a poem. You can keep writing the poem you started yesterday or the day before, or start a brand new poem. You can write a poem about an animal, or you cannot. You have lots of choice here. You just have to do what? What does a poem have to do? make the audience feel something. Whatever the feeling is you want them to feel, you have to have that in your head before you start writing. If you want to make them laugh, you need to know that before you start writing. If you want to make them happy or feel love, you have to know the feeling. So think about the feeling and then get to writing. Be sure to send your poem in to your teacher so we can marvel at your great writing work. Thanks so much, third graders, for tuning in today. Take care. We'll talk soon.